My name is Jantzen Marcum. I've been doing sales at Evo, going into my third year. I manage a team here, and I'm going to show what I do and why I do it. And one of the most overlooked and most important thing is prospecting at the doors. So when I first get to a neighborhood, the first thing I look for are all the ADT customers on that street. What I do a little differently is I go and actually knock on those customers. So I get their names, how long they've had ADT, how much they're paying, why they got ADT, really any information I can get to know about the neighborhood and about their neighbors. That way when I go and knock on their neighbors' doors, I have information about them and I can name drop and talk about their actual neighbor who they might know and why they have ADT themselves. And what I do to make myself look a little bit more different than most door-to-door reps that knock on their door is I actually stand pretty far away compared to most. The reason I do that is when I walk away, I look at, again, any cameras they may have, signs, I look at all their neighbors, ADT customers nearby, and I just kind of look busy. So I'm on my iPad looking like I'm doing something, I'm looking around. That way when they open the door, they're like, what is this guy doing? What's going on? Instead of just being right there and going straight into my pitch. Oh,
hey.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
A little cold, but I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Are you the owner of the property here?
I am.
Okay, sweet. My name's Jantzen. So they'll open the door, I'll be farther back, and then I'll slowly get closer to them. And typically when I'm farther back, they'll usually come out of their door. They'll do that more often. Also, the first thing I say, typically when I knock on a door, is I ask them a question, get them talking, ask them if they're the homeowner.
Yeah.
First, just wanted to let you know you're going to be seeing us in the neighborhood today and maybe part of tomorrow.
Okay.
Reason behind that, I mean, with the way the world's going, we've had a little bit of car break-ins. Also, people have figured out they can disconnect internet lines and walk right into a house that has a system.
Okay.
Because they used to be Wi-Fi based. So we're just updating them with internet-based systems. In the meantime, again, with the way the economy is going, people are becoming a little more security conscious.
Okay.
Have you lived in the neighborhood for a while?
I just moved in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty recent.
Yeah.
Where'd you move from?
Actually from Louisiana.
Okay, yeah, this is a lot colder than down there, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, and I'm sorry, what was your name?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. And you did just move in, but do you know your neighbor, Mike, right over there?
I do.
Okay, the little ADT sign? Uh-huh. That's what I'm in charge of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with people shopping around for security and cameras in some ways, my job is to point them in the direction of ADT, and we do that through these signs. Okay. So in the past, we focused a lot on TV commercials, but how often have you called someone or a company because of a commercial you saw?
Never.
Not often. The biggest and most important thing is the prospect needs to understand the importance of the promotion before you move on to the product. Now the promotion is whatever deal we're giving them, and it's the advertising promotion. So they stick the sign in the yard, we have a budget to pay for a camera or to pay for a system, and I don't move on to the product on the cameras or the alarm until they understand what's in it for us, why we're on their street, why specifically their house that I'm knocking on, and how they can benefit. But the most important thing is if they can understand why their house and what we're going to get out of the ADT sign and word of mouth advertising, then they'll understand the importance of having a system themselves and it doesn't come off as too good to be true. These signs help us build a lot of credibility. As cars drive through a neighborhood and they see a bunch of ADT signs popping around, who do you think they're going to want to call if they want a system? ADT, right? Yeah. So that's my job. It's super simple. We're on each of the streets, yours and the one over, grabbing 3 of what we call advertising homes. Okay. What that entails is just like what Mike has, is these ADT signs. We would simply stick an ADT sign out in your front yard. It builds credibility, cars drive through, they see ADT, they get excited, they're gonna call us, hopefully. And for each of the homes that put that sign out front, we just partner with Google and we're actually paying for a Google camera for the house. The biggest and most important thing is the prospect needs to understand the importance of the promotion before you move on to the product. Now the promotion is whatever deal we're giving them, and it's the advertising promotion. So they stick the sign in the yard, we have a budget to pay for a camera or to pay for a system, and I don't move on to the product on the cameras or the alarm until they understand what's in it for us, why we're on their street, why specifically their house that I'm knocking on, and how they can benefit. But the most important thing is if they can understand why their house and what we're going to get out of the ADT sign and word of mouth advertising, then they'll understand the importance of having a system themselves, and it doesn't come off as too good to be true. What we would do, because most people would put a camera right above the garage here and we can angle it in. That way we would cover your whole front property here.
Okay.
Now what that looks like is a few different things I'll do to get them out of the door. The first thing I try is to name drop. So I'll turn completely around and I'll point to one of their neighbors. That's an ADT customer or not, it doesn't really matter. And so if I turn around and point and talk about them, they'll typically be like, come out and like try to look with me. If they still don't after that, I'll continue my pitch, I'll go into the promotion, and then I'll talk about the cameras. And when they pick a camera, then I'll pull them off the door to then like show them a visual of how the camera would work. Once you can get them off the door, it becomes a lot easier to get inside the house. Something like that.
Okay.
Now, you've probably seen like the Ring cameras, your neighbor had across the street, they have the Ring camera.
Yep.
Those will notify people every time a car drives by, and that can get kind of annoying.
Yeah.
With the Google ones, we lay down a perimeter tripwire, so you only get notified the second a person enters your property.
Okay.
So you're not getting all those false notifications. Now, do your dogs ever come out front?
Yeah, and the backyard too
Okay.
at times, yeah.
So your dogs have pet recognition, so they're not gonna be notifying your phone every time your dogs are running around too.
Okay.
And if I came by tomorrow, it can say Jantzen, the goofy looking ADT guy's back. Yeah,
Okay.
things like that. Now, cameras are cool, they're fun. You see what's going on the outside of the home.
Yeah.
What really matters is the inside.
Right.
And so part of our budget we're working with is we pay for a starter system for the inside of the home. Nothing too crazy, not all the bells and whistles, but something to get you going, simply because we can't just stick a sign and false advertise.
Right.
Have you ever had a security system before?
I have not, no.
Okay, it's super simple. The first thing we cover are all the access points of the home, which are the doors. So after your initial pitch and your door approach, the next goal is to get inside the house. You're gonna get it's a lot harder to get the deal if you're outside. So I typically use equipment to get into the home. Now it's important to understand there's no right or wrong necessarily. There's a lot of different ways, probably hundreds of ways to get into a house, and it all depends on the customer and the way you can fill them out. So my typical go-to is using a smoke detector, the panel, or the door sensors. So for example, with the door sensors, once I can pull them off the door, let's say the first, well, I'll transition and say, hey, cameras are only as good as the security system that backs them up. The first piece of equipment that we cover are all the access points of the home, which are the doors. How many doors do you have leading into the home? They tell me, and then I kind of hesitate. I'm like, how a sensor works, and then I'll hesitate, and then I'll be, you don't mind if I just show you real quick? And then they're like, oh, no problem. And then I walk in, and I turn around, and I show them where the door sensor will go, and I shut the door to show an example of it, and I'm in the house. Right after that, I turn around and I start building value on the rest of the equipment in the home.
Okay.
We know cameras are only as good as the system that backs them up.
Yeah.
How many doors do you have leading into the house?
Front door, back door, and then there's a door from the garage in.
Into the garage, or from the garage to the house?
Like once you're in the garage to the house.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. The first thing we cover are these little sensors that go on the door.
Okay.
You don't mind if I just show you real
Yeah,
quick, would you?
for sure.
Okay. Are your dogs gonna attack me if I open up the door?
No, they're very friendly.
Okay,
and they're
after you.
in the backyard.
After you.
Thank you.
So what we throw in, man, it's a lot warmer in here.
It is, yeah.
We put these little sensors up here, and then we'll put one right here, okay? So
Okay.
front door opens. So the whole point of the sale is you want to get a customer moving. So whether it's the door approach, transition, and then especially the walkthrough, you want to move around. That's how I found the most success. So once I get into the home, I build value on door sensors, I move to the next equipment. Now, the sensors go there, and you said, single mom, do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
2 kids, what are their ages?
8 and 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So what parents love a lot about these sensors is because it alerts you if the door opens, you know if your kids are running out of the house, you can grab them before they go out into the road.
Okay.
Now, I know you did just recently move in here, so you may not know, but how are your smoke detectors updated at all?
I think they had some sort of system in here before, but I'm really not sure.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So the next thing we do is we do update your smoke system. Do you know where a smoke detector is at?
I think this may be one actually.
Okay.
And there might
do you have one up there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, did you want me to take off my shoes?
Oh, you're good.
Okay,
yeah.
so I'll turn around and ask, okay, where are your smoke detectors at? I'll ask if it's okay if I need to take my shoes off, and then I'll go to a smoke detector. I'll talk about whatever they have, make sure it's working, and then say, hey, we'll add on to the smoke detector. I'll build value on that, ask them questions, get to know them so I can find their hot buttons with it. After the smoke or glass break, I'll move on to the panel, and I'll specifically like show them pictures, go to the wall, show them how they can use it. So they're constantly moving. If they're just sitting in one spot, a lot of times they'll be talking themselves out of buying. But when you got them moving around, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about how you're really just painting the picture for them. So that's my walkthrough. I go walk through each of the equipment, and then after that, I'll say, hey, I can actually show you a breakdown of that. Do you mind if I borrow a seat?
Yeah.
What we do, if you don't mind me pointing this out, so this smoke you have, it looks like it just came with the house first alert.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you know how smoke works. Smoke hits it, it beeps.
Yeah.
What we add in is what's called a photoelectric smoke detector. We can go back down here. And it has a heat sensor on it, so it'll detect a fire in the attic earlier on, because that is the #1 cause for a home fire. It also dials 911 immediately if there is a fire in the house.
Okay.
So typically it takes about 48 minutes for a neighbor to notice a neighbor's fire. By then it's already dealt its damage. Now you have your 2 dogs.
Yeah.
So we have what's called pet protection. In your system you can specify how many animals you have, if they're kenneled, kids and their ages. So when emergency personnel come, they already know what to look for in the house. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Also, what brought you here from Louisiana? I'm sorry I didn't even ask that.
Yeah, well, I just love Utah and the mountains and hiking, and there's just a lot to do here.
Yes, I agree. I've been to Louisiana once. It's a lot different than all the mountains here.
Yeah.
Now, you've probably been to family or friends' homes that have a system.
Yeah.
The next thing we cover, which is the brains of this system, is a smart panel. Okay. Now, what door do you use the most?
The front door.
The front door?
Yeah.
Okay. What we would typically do, and the technician, he knows better than me, but we would put a panel towards the door you use the most.
Okay.
Super simple. So you arm and disarm the system. And then of course you have access on your phone through the app. Are you an iPhone or an Android user?
Team iPhone for sure.
Okay, yeah. Me as well. Those are the easiest ones to use. Now, I mentioned earlier when I first knocked on your door, is we're updating your neighbors that have Wi-Fi systems because people can disconnect internet lines. With your system, you have the newest one. So we put a cell chip in it, so it runs off of cellular.
Okay.
That way, as family, friends, neighbors see you using a system, they're gonna ask you about it, and then you can leave an honest opinion about how it's treating you. And as they see you using your cameras. Any questions so far? I know I just threw up a bunch of information.
It seems really cool, but I'm just really concerned about the price.
The price, yes. Here, I'll pull this up for you. Typically, most first years get nervous when the prospect might ask for the price. That's actually like my goal when I'm talking with them, because it's a buying question. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't ask about the price. So they'll typically ask, hey, okay, what does all of this cost? And I say, hey, that's perfect question. We make it affordable for anyone on fixed income, whatever, to fixed income, Social Security, et cetera, et cetera. That way I get through those objections, because you'll get people saying, oh, I'm on fixed income or disability, I can't afford it. But once you verbalize that, the best way to overcome an objection is to verbalize it before they ever do first. So they'll ask about the price, and I typically say, okay, well, good question. There's typically 2 ways that you can pay for a system. Option A is you can call us and we would quote you X amount of money up front, $800 to $1,000 up front for the equipment plus installation plus your monitoring. Or a lot of companies nowadays have you take out a 5-year loan. So at this point, I'm not pushing financing because I kind of bash on taking out a loan a little bit. So, okay, you can take out a 5-year loan, but the key after that is to circle back to the promotion, the ADT sign, why they're helping us out. Have you shopped around for cameras or systems at all? Okay.
No.
I don't want to preach to the choir if you already
Yeah.
knew a lot about it. So there's typically two ways people pay for their system. Do you mind if I actually sit down and I can draw this up for you?
Yeah.
Okay. The two ways that people pay for a system is option A. If you called us tomorrow, ADT would quote you for your equipment, and that can be anywhere between $800 to $1,200.
Oh, wow.
Not the cheapest thing in the world, but people do find a lot of benefit in protecting the two most important things to them, their home and their families.
Right.
And so that's why we can charge a good amount of money. Or you can take out a 5-year loan and they finance you for 5 years. However, before you have a heart attack and hear the word loan, for the program that we're running, because you're helping us with the sign, the same thing that Mike's doing, we're gonna eliminate all those costs. So because you're helping us out, you put the sign in the yard, we're gonna cover the cost of the equipment. So I have my iPad and I have the breakdown of all the equipment we're giving them. So I break that down. This is the cost of the equipment. All you do is keep it connected to fire, police, and medical, because they obviously don't work for free. Now, I start high, so I'll say typically a system for cameras and security and life alert if they have a medical pin, if they're old, you're looking at around 100, but we're dropping it down to 69 bucks or 53 or 74, whatever package you gave them.
Okay.
All you would do is keep your system connected to fire, police, and medical, because they obviously don't work for free.
Yeah.
Now, what that typically looks like, for a system, you're normally looking around the $100 range. But once again, we're helping those out with any kind of fixed income, single mom, things like that, to make it more affordable. You stick that sign out front, we're dropping it down to just 69 bucks.
Oh,
and that's for everything.
okay.
So I'll show you a little visual here. You said you had 3 doors, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll show them that on the iPad. Now, once you price drop, you want to bury it. So after you price drop, go into who is your homeowner's insurance with? And then they'll think about that, and you talk about the benefit they can get for having a system. Because we're in the neighborhood and we're dropping installation down to $0 because I'm already here. We have your 7-inch control panel. All 3 of your doors are going to be covered. We have that cell chip, so you're always connected if your Wi-Fi goes offline. That smoke sensor, that'll be additional. Your outdoor camera, of course, to cover the outside. We also gave you a thing called Nestware Plus, which is 24/7 recording backed up for 90 days. So a lot of cameras just do like 30-second clips.
Right.
Yours is always going to be running, so you're not missing things.
Yeah.
ADT sign, and then we have this Google integration fee. Do you have any Google products in your house already? TV, speakers, anything like that?
Yeah, TV.
Okay, perfect. So we'll cover that cost. It'll integrate into your system for free. So anything Google you get, it'll work with your system as far as smart home goes. So that's how much the equipment typically costs. I know, but that's what we cover, because you're helping us with the sign. And as people see you using your system, they see the sign, typically we'll get a couple calls just from that. We eliminate that cost. All you do is keep your system connected at the 69 bucks. And then one catch is to keep that sign out front.
Okay.
Now, do you remember who your homeowner's insurance is with?
I think it's auto owners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you won't know until after you're installed, but after your installation, and I'll show you here, you get a homeowner's insurance discount anywhere between 5 to 20% off.
Okay.
It all depends on the location of the home, what equipment you have.
Yeah.
So that's something I can help you with after installation.
Okay.
Are you okay to keep that sign out front for us? Does that sound
yeah.
okay? Okay. So after you price drop and bury it, you go into qualifying the customer. It's only as big of a deal as you make it. We grab the last 4. So typically you'll have someone ask if they're hard pulling credit. Again, don't make it a big deal. You just say it's a pre-screen or a soft pull. It doesn't pull up on their credit report. When you ask for the date of birth, those are the 2 things most first years struggle with, is the date of birth and the social. So on the date of birth, you just ask them, hey, to confirm that you're at least 18 years old, okay? And I always confirm their address with them to make sure I put that right. And then you have them sign the credit check inquiry. And Sarah, what was your last name?
Yeah, it's Youngins.
How do you spell that?
JUNGHANS.
Okay. And again, this is just to make sure the location of the home is okay for the ADT sign. And then to confirm that you're at least 18 years old, what was your date of birth?
Yeah, it's March 28th, 1995.
Okay. Perfect. And is this 773 North, 264 South?
Yep.
Okay. And what's a good phone number I can reach you at?
Yep. It's 283
Okay.
454 1682.
Okay, perfect. And because you just moved in, is your name on the deed of the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just make sure that you're the owner of the property,
Okay.
and to make sure that all your utilities are updated and that you have half decent credit. What was your last four?
So wait, is this like a hard pull on my credit? Because I did just buy this house, and I just don't want to be slammed with, you know.
Good question. So no, it's not a hard pull.
Okay.
We don't do anything on the credit report. It's just a pre-screen to check debt to income ratio, make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
Really, just because we are giving you a bunch of equipment paid off for, we don't want you to cancel and turn around and go sell it on eBay.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So what was your last four?
3885.
Okay. And then right here, just signifying that we can pre-screen you.
Okay.
It's not a hard pull once again. Okay. Look it up. Did you design everything in your house? Have to do a lot of work?
Oh, we
like
had to do a
updating or
lot of
remodeling?
work. It's pretty crazy, actually. Like, the people who lived here before were not the cream of the crop people, who just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of effort has gone into the house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it
For
looks really
sure.
nice.
Well, thank you. There was a SWAT
Go ahead.
team here at one point. So,
Oh, seriously?
yeah. I mean, I've thought about cameras because of that, because like the
Yeah.
previous owners are just, you know, kind of crazy. So I would feel better, you know. with
Yeah, and
some
I wouldn't
cameras.
say that this neighborhood's necessarily known for anything too crazy.
No,
But
yeah.
it's better to be proactive versus
Right.
reactive.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to Mike, he had someone going through his backyard
really?
a couple weeks ago, which is why he got his system.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then good news, this home did qualify for the location. And then in case if there's an emergency at the house and we can't get a hold of you, who would be a good like emergency contact to reach out to?
Probably my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Shay.
Shay. Last name?
And then it's Robertson.
Okay. And what's a good phone number for
Yeah.
here?
It's 283-255-3683.
Okay. Perfect. And then do you have a good email I can send a copy of all the information to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's my first name, last name,
Care. Perfect.
133@gmail.com.
Okay, now this is the hardest question I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Every account comes with a verbal password.
Okay.
So with that panel that we put on the wall, if you accidentally set the alarm off or burn the bacon while cooking, ADT will call into your panel to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
And you would provide a one-word safe word to confirm that it's you at the house and not a random stranger.
Okay.
What would be a good one-word safe word that you could remember? And maybe even like your 8-year-old.
Yeah. Definitely my dog's name, Honey.
Honey?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
perfect. Let's save that. And then once again, gotta rebuild this out. Okay, once again, we have all the equipment paid off for, $0 to install it. And then just this one time $69, or not the one time, the monthly $69. And then what's your schedule typically looking like as far as like our technicians go?
Yeah. I have something this evening, but pretty free until 4.
Okay.
And then I am off tomorrow.
Okay.
How long?
Fun plans tonight?
Yeah, I'm just going to dinner with my sister.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Were you gonna ask how long this usually takes?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a system like this, it depends on the technician, but I would
Okay.
block out about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty
nothing
quick.
too crazy,
Yeah.
but they can get in and out relatively quickly.
Cool.
So I'm gonna check the technician's schedule right now. I just
Okay.
submitted that through.
Sure.
In the meantime, would you prefer to use a checking account or a credit card for the 69?
We can use my credit card.
Credit card, okay.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have that on you?
Yeah, I can go get it. for
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Yep. Oh, here's my card.
Perfect. Is this debit or credit?
It's credit.
Okay.
Trying to get the points.
Yeah, smart. And then I'm just gonna connect this to my Amazon account. Okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. 0129. Perfect. Then I'm gonna send you a text message
Okay.
with a 6-digit code, and I'm gonna need that
Okay.
code here in a second. While that's loading in, because we got you a discounted monitoring, I don't want to give you a good deal today, and the next month it
Okay.
jumps up on you $100
Yeah.
to $120. That'd be super lame of me.
Yeah.
So we have a price lock guarantee for 36 months, where we legally can't raise our price on you.
Okay.
Also, since we're giving you the equipment and I mentioned this, we don't want you to turn around, cancel, and go sell it all on eBay.
So is it like a contract or?
Yes, yeah. So it's an agreement that, once again, just to confirm that you aren't selling our equipment.
Okay.
Because we are giving it to you.
Right.
Typically, the industry does about a 5-year, either a loan or a contract that way, because you're helping us with the program. We're just doing a simple 3 years.
Okay. I see.
Now, if I know you just moved here, but if you were to move, we can move with you. Or we can transfer on to the new homeowner.
Okay.
Yeah, so nothing too big with that. And then you should have gotten that text message.
Let me see.
That code, what's that code?
233458.
Okay, perfect. And this is loading in. So to show you here, I want to make sure I got the address in right. Is that the correct address?
Yep.
Name, information. Okay, right here. 36 months, like I said, it has the $69.99. And scroll down here, monitoring once again, got you Nest Wear Plus.
Okay.
And then this is where it states $0 on all the equipment. Okay. And then right here it does say $99, but I waived your installation fee. So in accounting 101, parentheses means negative. So there's $0 for that. Okay. And it talks about terms and conditions. You'll get a copy of all of this sent to your email as well.
Okay.
This notice of cancellation is for the lemon law. So if you give you something that doesn't work, you can terminate it or just give us a phone call. We can come and replace it. Super rare for that to happen. All I need right here is your initial.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then your signature right there. Okay. And at the bottom, that's me, Jantzen Marcum. And I'll send you with my phone number.
Okay.
And then I think they just got back to me. You said you had dinner with your sister. What time was that at?
Around 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a technician, Jerry. He's just up the street right now. He has an availability at 1:30.
Okay.
And he said he can squeeze you in if that works okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, perfect. I'll submit that in. Any other questions? I know that was a lot of information, but
I don't think so. You went over it.
okay.
Yeah.
So as far as like how to use the equipment, the technician will come over.
Sweet.
He'll show you everything.
Okay.
He'll see a good location for the panel.
Okay.
And so yeah, any questions you can leave with him. I'll leave you. I already wrote my phone number on here, so that's my name. There's my phone number. So reach out to me if you do have any questions or if you have any issues at all.
Okay.
And then obviously 10 years, I may not even be at the company anymore. Who knows? You have these 2 phone numbers that you can reach out to if you do have any issues.
Okay.
Some of my biggest days in selling are the days that I can get referrals from a person I sell, whether it's a referral from to their neighbor or from someone else anywhere in the United States of America. So after I go through everything, I make sure they understand. I give them my name and number. I'll ask them, hey, we just need 2 more of these homes. Is there any of your neighbors that you know of on your street? Or I can get approval for outside of your neighborhood if anyone comes to mind. Typically, I'll throw them a bone and say, hey, we'll give you $100 for every referral that you give us. And then at that point, they're really wanting to give me one. And in this case, especially if they have something that comes to mind right then and there, the best thing you can do is try to get them to call them right then and there. And have them call them from their own phone instead of yours, because they're more likely to answer it. So once they call them, you give them a short pitch, but the more that your prospect that just bought can tell them about the system, the more likely they're gonna buy it. So you talk about, oh, hey, your sister liked this and this and this, and then you go into it. Sometimes you get a pushback if you want them to call right then and there. My go-to is say, okay, they're probably at work, perfect. While you have me, if we just want to give them a call, and I can leave a voicemail explaining the equipment and the price. That way you guys have something to talk about. And then I'll leave you with my number and you can reach out to me. And honestly, probably 80% of the time, their family, friend, or neighbor answers the phone anyways, and I pitch them there. Now, I know you did just move in. Do you know any of your neighbors or anyone at all nearby? Because we are grabbing 2 more homes for the advertising program. Do you know anyone?
Well, actually, my sister Shay, she also just moved in the area. She's not in this neighborhood, but she moved in not too long ago.
Where is she here? I'll pull up a map if that's okay, and I can see what area, because some areas we can get approval
Right.
for.
She's only about like 10 minutes from here.
If you want to pull that up.
Yeah. Let me see. She's right around here.
Okay, right
Yeah.
there. Okay. Is she at work right now, or do you know what she's doing?
Yeah, I think she is at work right now, but she has a lunch here in about like 30 minutes.
Okay, because I was going to say we can maybe give her a phone call and you can
Okay,
explain things while I'm here.
For sure.
Do you know if she would answer her phone right now?
She might.
She might. Do you want to give her a quick phone call?
Sure.
We can explain it.
Yeah.
Okay. You have my phone number, so reach out if you need anything. The technician will get here at about 1:30.
Okay.
And then he'll. I don't have the sign on me. He'll bring the sign.
Okay.
So he can. I mean, really wherever you'd want, but he can put it in your flower beds, and then he'll have a bunch of ADT stickers that you can put on your windows in your backyard as well. Yeah. Any other questions for me before I head out?
And will the tech just show me how to use the app on my phone?
Yes.
And okay.
Yeah,
cool.
so he'll download the apps on your phone,
Okay.
get you a login,
Cool.
show you how to use the system, use the camera,
Okay.
and you'll be good to go.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds
All right, Sarah.
good.
Very
All
nice
right,
to meet
thank you.
you.
Nice
Yep.
to meet you too. Have a good one.
So there's a few specific things that will help anyone find more success in selling. The first one is making sure the prospect understands the importance of the promotion. So sell the promotion, then the product. The second one is getting them to move so they're not staying stagnant and talking themselves out of the sale. So whether it's standing far away from the door or getting them to move within their house. And the third one is referrals. It's great to get one deal in a house, but if you can start your day out with two, the rest of the day will come a lot easier. And the second sale in a referral is going to be way easier than knocking a cold door.